What up, T Squad? It's me, Keisha, and I'm here with this week's All Tea, All Shade, Real Housewives of New York City, Season 15, Episode 3 review. Want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in to this week's episode of Ask Keisha and Mo. If you didn't get a chance, the video is up right now. It is super hilarious, super informative, and we had some tea-filled questions. But if you have a question or need advice, please email us right now at askkeishaandmo@gmail.com. It could be about anything, honey. Your man, your woman, your mammy, your daddy, your pappy, your kids, your boss, anything, your health, your fitness, whatever you need advice on and help, email us right now, and you can remain anonymous. Just let us know in your email. Now let's get to this week's review of The Real Housewives of New York City. So the ladies are all heading out to the Hamptons, I believe, or somewhere else upstate in New York or whatever, to visit Erin. They're going to try this again. Last season, they all went to Erin's house and made her feel so bad about the food and it being cold and this, that, and the third. Erin has remodeled her kitchen and it looked really, really nice. I love the updates. The marble features really made the room pop because it needed a pop of something. It was just too stark white and everything was just white and bland and nothing was going on. So we find out that Racquel told Erin that the reason why she didn't ride up with Sai and Ubah is because they wouldn't let her sit in the front, even after the fact that she told them that she gets really bad car sickness. So when Sai and Ubah get there, she tells them that that's what was said, and they both like, what? Like, that was never said. We never told her she couldn't sit in the front. She literally told us about her car sickness and then said she was going to drive herself. And they even go as far as to show her the text message. So everybody's kind of like, well, what was that about? Like, why would she just outright lie like that? Like, that's weird. Ubah already on some, I ain't got time for it. It's starting already. People lying on folks. You know, the drama is starting. So Racquel arrives and Sai confronts her like, what was up with that? And she was like, well, yeah, I told you that I had really bad car sickness and you responded on, just get some Dramamine. And she was like, well, yeah, I was telling you to get Dramamine because you said that you have car sickness, but you never said that you wanted to ride with us. You said that you were going to drive yourself. And so she was like, oh, well, yeah. And it's just like, girl, don't sit up here and try to make fetch happen, because the way you retold the story is not how it was said. It could have been miscommunication, but based off how it was text, I don't even see where a miscommunication could come in at, because she didn't open her mouth and say, hey, I want to ride with you guys. I have motion sickness though. Can I sit up front? That was never said, weirdo. Like, people are weird. So I understood very well why Sai felt some type of way, because if I'm Sai, I would be feeling like this is just another way for people to make it seem like I'm being a biz naive or being a mean girl. So she was irritated by that or whatever. So Brynn and Sai end up having their long awaited conversation that was forced upon them. And, well, more so forced upon Sai. And Brynn just tries to brush everything along and was like, I don't want to have a problem with you. I don't want to argue with you. I forgive you for anything you said, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And Sai just kind of looking like, okay, I hear what you're saying, but that's not how life works. You just can't brush the conversation and expect us just to be bosom buddies. Like, I still need to let you know how you made me feel and explain myself. Like, that's not fair to do to somebody. And I agreed with Sai, because I did my dirt and you've done stuff to hurt me too, and we both need to really sit down and address it. So Sai tells Brynn that Jenna was the one that told her that Brynn said that, Sai said that she hated her. And Brynn was like, I never told Jenna that. So she calls Jenna into the room, and Jenna denies telling Sai that Brynn was the person who told her that Sai hated her. And Sai was like, now I know you lying. Like, not you get to sit up here and try to make it look like I'm crazy and that I lied on you. And I was shocked by Jenna. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you clearly told her that Brynn was the one that came back and said that. And the producers even show a flashback of the scene. And I will say this also, even though Jenna lied in that moment, let's not negate the fact that Sai, you allegedly said this to multiple people. It wasn't just Jenna. And I need for you to just acknowledge that, whether you said you can't stand her or hate her, the main result is you wasn't feeling her. At the end of the day, you feel differently now. I apologize. Let's move forward or whatever. I don't understand why she's so fixated on the fact that Brynn was the one to run back and tell her that or whatever. Because at the end of the day, y'all pretty much have all said stuff about each other at this point. And it's okay not to like somebody when you first getting to know them. It might be things about them that you just can't figure out or that rubs you the wrong way. But the longer you are around them and the more you get to know them, you start to see things differently. And those things that used to irritate you don't really bother you as much anymore. So I think that might be the situation with Jenna. But one thing that I will say about Brynn, though, this season, Brynn is being really condescending. She's being not a know-it-all per se, but she's just acting really bitchy and like she tough and just being very confrontational and standing in I'm right and you're wrong. And I'm not feeling that at all. And neither is the audience. I don't know what's going on with Miss Girl this season. Why she got a chip on her shoulder. Why she trying so hard to prove that she's tough. But she doing too much and she need to get somewhere and sit down because it's not likable at all. Okay. Sai then becomes really annoyed with the way the conversation is going and decides to exit stage left. But Brynn is still very determined to just sweep everything under the rug and act like she's right and Sai's wrong. So she goes into the kitchen and hugs Sai from behind. Sai at first was on some like, girl, get off of me. But everybody was like, yay, they're making up. So it was given, all right, I'm just going to let her have the moment, but I still do feel some type of way, energy. So the situation is deaded for that moment, right? So we go to dinner that night and Racquel's backstory was very interesting. We learned that she started off as a model and then got into buying artwork and talked about because she's a woman of color and a black woman and how people wouldn't sell fine art to her and how when she did start making her collection, people was wanting to buy her pieces. And so that's how she began being an art dealer herself. So it was really nice learning who she was and how she got to where she is now. And then we go to Rebecca, and Rebecca Minkoff lets us know that her parents told her at the age of 16 that if she didn't do schmugs, that they would, put her on birth control. And it's like, what? Like, the fact that they put their 16-year-old on birth control wasn't the ooh moment for me. I think that's a smart thing to do. But it was if you don't do schmugs, this is what you'll get. This is the prize for you. It's like, what? Everybody was looking at her like, okay. She was like, what? That's not normal. No, bitch, it's not. It's kind of weird. So after that, the ladies go back to the crib. They're undressing for the night, getting ready for bed. And Ubah and Aaron and Jessel are in the kitchen. And Ubah asks Aaron, does she really think that the beef between Sai and Brynn is really over? And she was like, well, yeah, they were getting along. They hugged or whatever. She was like, what? You know something? And Ubah tells her how before they went out, that Sai was telling her that she didn't like the fact that she really couldn't get a word in edgewise when it came to Brynn because she still feels some type of way. And Ubah goes on to tell Aaron that she doesn't feel like she can really open up to the group because the ladies are steadily twisting people's words and lying and the gossip. So she doesn't really feel comfortable opening up to certain people, aka Brynn, pretty much is what she's trying to say. And she has valid reason to feel that way because last season we all know Brynn put her business out there about that white man in Connecticut that she was dating. And this is Brynn's problem, where she like to cause mess and then laugh it off and like, I'm just playing, I'm just being my quirky ditzy self. And it's just like, girl, we're not children. You are a grown woman. Let's not play these silly games. Everybody don't want to play with you all the time. Because when we start playing back with you, you want to cry and play victim. And no, girl, it's either you going to be the devil or you going to be an angel. Ain't no in between. So I can't really feel bad for Brynn, because even in this episode, she was like, I love starting drama. I love starting stuff. Okay, well then when somebody starts stuff with you, don't run crying all the damn time. So, Brynn ends up coming in and joining the conversation, and Ubah reiterates what Sai told her. And I will say, I felt like Ubah was fighting Sai's battles with Brynn, and I feel like she was using Sai as an excuse to come at Brynn. You know what I'm saying? Because it's obvious that she still feels some type of way towards Brynn. And I would have respected it more if she just would have been like, well, look, I feel this, that, and the way towards you because of what happened last season, and I'm not over it. You know, they got into it at the reunion, words was said or whatever. I don't think that she even needed to necessarily keep on bringing up Sai's issues with Brynn. Just say what your issue is, you know, because I really feel like that's what she's doing. She's using Sai as a reason to come at that girl. So, Brynn was like, well, we're good. We made up. Everything is fine. And it's just like, you're delusional if you really think that everything is fine between you and Sai. And this is why I said what I said either on last week's episode or the episode before that, that it's like Brynn lives in this little fairy tale world where everything is sugar, plums, and fairies. And it's like, my love, what planet do you live on? Life don't work that way. Like, you can't just laugh stuff off or smile and think that, oh, everything is right. Mimi might have raised you like that, but that ain't how the world works. So Ubah then goes on to call the girls liars, and she points out how Jenna lied earlier on Sai, and I was like, you're right about that. You are right. So Brynn feels that Ubah is always trying to explain Sai's feelings, and she's tired of it. And if I was Brynn, I would feel that same way too, because it's like, if you got an issue with me, girl, just say that. Don't use Sai as an excuse, right? And Sai is grown. Sai ain't no punk. She can handle her own, especially when it comes to Brynn. So after that, Brynn was like, you know, don't go there with me because I'll get mad. You want to talk about shit? Everybody should be happy that I'm being super cool and letting shit fly. And this is when I'm like, okay, Brynn, you always want to pop shit like you real tough and like somebody should be scared of you. And then you want to pull out these little low key threats. Girl, who you talking to? Get mad. Like, what you think you about to do? Nothing. And so that's why I'm looking at Brynn like, I like you, girl, but this is the second time we've seen you do this threatening stuff to people. And I don't like that. Because it's like, if you're going to do it, do it. Jump, frog, jump, leap, girl. The next morning, Sai and Ubah wake up because they share the room with each other. And Sai tells Ubah that it's really bothering her that the first thing that came out of Aaron's mouth as soon as they arrived was her telling them that Racquel said, you know, whatever she said about the whole car situation. And basically she was just saying like, it's always something where people trying to make me out to be a bad guy and the drama. And it's just like the attacks and all of this type of stuff. So Ubah took that and ran with it, honey, as another reason to call the girls out. As the girls go outside to eat breakfast, Sai is upstairs getting dressed for the day, and Ubah come down and was like, you know, Sai is tired of being used as a pawn. Everything she says gets twisted. In this group, there's a lot of big miscommunication going on. And so Brynn jump in and was like, well, maybe it's because people are using spokespeople and not talking for themselves. And I was like, okay, Brynn, you're clocked into the game. You're peeping what's going on, because that's exactly what Ubah is doing. So Ubah was like, I'm not a spokesperson. And Brynn was like, you're literally a spokesperson. And Ubah was like, shut the fuck up. Baby, Ubah had it. You could tell Ubah want to put hands on Brynn. She wants to fight. She really honestly does. So Jessel points out in her confessional that they have issues over Mr. Connecticut, that this is what this whole issue is about. So Sai comes outside and she's clueless as to what is the argument, right? Ubah get to calling the girls a bunch of pigeons and saying they don't know each other's addresses and stuff. And I was like, what is going on here with the pigeon talk? So Brynn was like, I think we need to watch our language too. You don't say shut the F up to people. You need to watch your language. And Ubah said, I'm not watching my language and there's nothing you can do about it. Baby, Ubah want a box. Ubah need to be on baddies, okay? So Ubah was like, you're the biggest pigeon of all of them here. You are the one making this group not trust each other. And I was like, not one lie was spoken, because I feel like she starts stuff. And I also feel like Aaron is a bone carrier. And now we see in this season that Jenna being slightly messy as well. So Brynn was like, I don't exist in worlds where it's like F you, basically trying to be like, I ain't on that ghetto stuff. Like, and she even said in her confession, like, fight me intelligently, fight me with wit. You know, all of the cussing and stuff is not necessary. It's like, well, girl, that's what you do. That's how your white grandmama raised you. Okay. Just because she want to cuss don't mean that she's lowbrow and all of this type of stuff. Like, we're not going to do that, girl. We're not about to do that. So Ubah says, you are worse than fuck you. You're a snake and nobody sees you coming. So the girls is like, oh no, whoa, too far. You know, white people, child, you can't say nothing around white people. If you call somebody a bee, that's like saying that they are Satan. And Ubah was like, all of you guys think this, but you don't want to say it. And I was like, you are so right. They being some punks. So Sai was like, pineapple. And Ubah immediately chilled out. And everybody was looking like, well, what in the dog whisper just happened? We using safe words now? The girls are confused. So the other girls go in the house. Brynn is upset once again because she started a fight she couldn't finish. And now she's about to go cry and play victim. So Ubah and Aaron are still outside and they have a one-on-one conversation. And Aaron tells Ubah that she's taking this side situation too far and like taking it too in for herself. And Ubah was like, not anymore. Basically like, yeah, I was arguing on her behalf in the beginning, but now this is about me and her. So Aaron was like, you know, I think Brynn's gonna blow up soon. Like, I already got a bad feeling. And Ubah said, you know what? Good luck. Blow up, pigeon. Ubah is with the shits. She is ready, honey. And so on next week's episode, it looks like the argument is going to continue. Baby, I'm just ready for the argument that they gonna have. I don't know if it's gonna be in the Hamptons or on the girls' trip when they go at it, and start reading each other for filth, okay? It's obvious, again, that's gonna be on the girls' trip because that's towards the end of the season. But this is a good episode. I just wish that the girls would stop trying to censor themselves and stop trying to be this cookie cutter version of themselves because they don't want to get canceled or lose brand deals or have, you know, people judging them on social media. Like, start not giving a F. And I feel like that's what's holding this cast back, is that they know the reality show game. They know how to play it, and they're censoring themselves. Whereas the OGs, they didn't give a damn. They didn't. And that's what made it so enjoyable. And I wish that they would just shake it off and let loose. But I'm going to give this week's episode of RHONY, I'm going to give it a B+. It was a really good episode. Brynn is obviously the villain this season. A lot of people aren't feeling Ubah. Who do you feel is in the right and who do you feel is in the wrong in this situation? I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. I'm more so on team Ubah right about now, because I just feel like this season that Brynn is just being a brat and snotty and condescending, and I ain't feeling it. But let's talk about it down below in the comment section, you guys. Once again, if you need advice, please email me and my bestie Mo at askkeishaandmo@gmail.com. The email address is posted down below in the description box. I love you guys. Please make sure to thumbs up this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your post notifications so you know when my videos drop. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.